morning students. Let us start the today's session. I hope you have understood the last topic which I have discussed, in which we have learned about the data types used in Python like integer, floating, string, list, tuples, dictionary and complex data types. So today I am going to tell you about the immutable and mutable data types, how they work in Python. So immutable and mutable. So first of all, I will start with immutable data types. Okay, so let us see the immutable and mutable data types, how they work in the memory and how they don't change their place, or when they change their place, in which situation they change the reference in the memory. So first of all, I will begin with the immutable types in Python. Immutable types, as I have already told you, that the data types which does not changes their value at its place, it is called as, or you can say this, the value which doesn't change their place in the memory, it is called as immutable types. Under the immutable, we will categorize like integer, floating point numbers, boolean numbers, string and tuples. So these all data types we have already learned, and these all are categorized under immutable because it doesn't change their value at their place. Now how they doesn't change, or how we can see it, now I'm going to give you an example. As we know that Python already preloads the data into the memory, and whenever an object, whenever we declare any kind of variable to store any value in the object, then it is denoted in that memory address. So let's see that how it works in case of immutable and how it works in case of mutable. Okay, I have already defined here some numbers which are preloaded into the Python's memory. Now there are memory references also provided to the numbers already, because everything which is stored in the memory has a reference to it, has an address to it. So now suppose if I have written like this, a is equal to 6. So the number 6 is stored in this location which has the address 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. It will denote the object a, or the label a. Now suppose if I have written here b is equal to a. So b is equal to a, it means the same value is going to be stored in b also. So b will also denote the same location, same memory. Now c is equal to, suppose 6 I have written, so c is also going to denote the same memory. So the reference of all the objects will be same, and the reference of this value will also be same. How it can be checked? There is a you can just go to the interpreter mode and write as this function like id, and then write here number 6. So you will get the answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. When you will write like this id a, you will get the same answer. When you will write id b, it will give you the same answer, and id c will also give you the same answer. So now you can easily judge that when the same value is stored in different objects, it will be given or assigned to the same memory reference. So the same memory reference, the same memory address will be denoted or will be assigned to the different variables having the same value in it. Whenever the different even if there is a different variable, they have a same value, so they will be provided the same memory address. Okay, now Python also keeps the count of the number of objects which are denoting the same memory address. So if someone there are 5 different objects which are denoting the same value in the same address, so Python keeps the count of the objects also. So like this, here there are 3 objects which are denoting the same value in this memory address. Okay, now moving further, suppose the value of the particular object changes, then the reference will also change. Let's see how. Now see, I am taking another example. Suppose I have written here a is equal to 10. So where the 10 is stored in the memory, 10 is stored here. So the object a is going to denote the 10 here. So it means the reference of 10 and the reference of a will be same. So if I write here like id 10, it will give me the answer as 12350, because id will give you the memory reference. And suppose if I have written here like id a, then also it will give me the same answer, because both are denoted. This a object is denoting the value a which is stored in the memory 12350. Now suppose if I have written here b is equal to 7. So b will denote here. So the reference of b will be 12347. Now suppose if I have written here c is equal to b. So c will also be denoted here only. So the reference of 7 B and C will be same. Okay. So this is how the immutable data type works. It doesn't changes its value at its place. You are seeing that the value is not changing. Whatever the value is, the object will move to that memory reference. Okay. So suppose if I have written here ID 10, it will give me the answer as, no, suppose ID 7, it will give me the answer as 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. If I write like this ID B or ID C, if you will find out, the address will be, the answer will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 only. So here the count of the object will be 2 and here the count of the object will be 1, which is maintained by the Python. So Python also keeps a memory count as well, that how many objects are denoting the same memory address. Okay. So this is how the immutable types works in Python. Now moving forward to the mutable types in Python, let's see. As we know that lists are mutable, the value of the list can be changed, but the address will not change even if you change its value. Let's see now the mutable types, that how they changes their memory location or when they do not. List, the value can be changed even the memory location is same. So I have taken an example of a list in under the square bracket. I have written 4 items 12, 25, 30 and 60. This is the integer list containing the whole numbers in it. Now I have written, suppose here list. To print list in the prompt, it will give me the full answer like this, 12, 25, 30 and 60 will be the answer. It will be the output. Now suppose if I want to check the address of this list, what I'll write? I'll write here ID and then this object name. So ID and object name will give you any address, whatever. Let's take an example. Suppose this is the address. So this will come as the answer 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Now for example, I want to change the value 25 to 45. What I will do? I will write here that list 1, because the location of this is 1 in the memory. The indexing is 1 for this item is equal to 45. So obviously when you will print the list, it will come like this, 12, 45, 30 and 60. But when you will write here ID and then list, it will give you the same memory address 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 which was earlier. So the memory address is same, however as lists are mutable, so the value of the list can be changed from its location anytime. This is how the immutable and mutable type works in Python. I'm going to show you the practical of all these, then it will be very much clear that how this ID, how the reference changes for immutable and mutable types or when it doesn't changes. Before that, I want to tell you one more thing, the variable internals in Python. As we know that Python is an object-oriented language, so it is very easy to define a variable, and a variable which is defined in the Python, which is storing the value, that is called as an object which has certain properties and behavior. How it is defined? Let's written here like this, a is equal to 5. It means 5 is a value which is stored in a. So a is an object which has certain properties and its behavior. What all are the properties of a? That it can stores the unlimited range of the value, integer value. And what is its behavior? That I can perform any arithmetical operation on this particular number or particular value. So every object which is defined as a variable that has certain properties and behavior. Properties can be the any range of that value, behavior, that how it, whatever functions can be applied on it. Now suppose if I want, if a is equal to 5 is defined and I want to check the data type of this number, the value of this number and the size of this number. A is equal to 5 is defined. Now I want to check the memory reference of this particular object, that what is the address of this object, what is the value of this object, what is stored, and what is the data type of this object. So to check the data type of this object, I will write on the prompt type and then I will write a. It will give you like answer like this, class int. It means it is integer data type which is storing the int. If you will write the answer in point, it will give you the answer as float. Now suppose if I want to find out the value of it, so what I will write here? For value, I will write simply as print a. When you will write print a, it will give you the answer 5. When you will write here print 5, it will give you the answer 5. Now to check the memory address of this, the same way I will write id and then a. It will give me the memory address here, id and then a. So whatever will be the reference of this, it will give me the address. So this is how the variables or objects can be defined. and what are their properties, that can be easily checked with Python. So now let's do some practical. Students, let us begin with the practical session now. So you can see here that I have opened the interactive mode in front of me, and I'm going to show you that how you can see the data type of the different variables and the memory reference of the address, and we will check the mutability and immutable data types also. So let's see that I have defined here, suppose a is equal to 5. If I want to see the data type of the variable a, I'll write here type 8 will give me the answer as integer. If I have written here b is equal to suppose 8.9, and I have written here type and then b, so it will give me the answer as float, because it is the decimal fraction having the fractional form. Now moving forward, we have one more data type, which is boolean. So if boolean has two values, as we know, 0 and 1. So you can see the value of 0 is false, and you can check the value of 1 also, it is true. And if you want to convert any kind of value, any particular boolean value or any value to a string, then you can do it with the str function. So I'll show you. You can use here str function, and then I have written here false. So you can see that this false will change to string, as it is the boolean value, but it has changed to string. You can understand like this also. Suppose I have written here a is equal to 9, and now I have written here str a. So you can see that the number which is the integer type, it has changed its value to now string, because a string is denoted enclosed in single quote or double quote. So you can see that with the help of str function, we can change the integer value to a string or any value to a string. Okay, moving forward, there is data type which we have learned, complex data type. So in complex, as we know that it has two parts, real and imaginary part. So I am writing here the variable, taking the variable z, and I am writing the value 5 plus 8.9j. Okay, so if you will write here z to be printed, you know that complex number is printed in a parenthesis. So it is printed, and if I want to bifurcate the real and imaginary part, what I'll do, I'll use the real and imaginary functions of Python. So I have written here z.real, it is going to show me the real part, and if I write here z.imaginary, then it will give me the answer as 8.9, which is the imaginary part. Now students, if you do any kind of further calculation wherein you want to add the integer value to a complex number, so you can see that if you will define a real number to be added to the complex number, then it will be added to the real part only, not the imaginary part. Let's see that. Suppose I have written here 3 plus, and then I have written here 5 plus 8.9j. So what will be the answer? It will be 8 plus 8.9j. This real number will be added to the real part of the complex number only. Now if I write here suppose 3.5j plus, and then I have written here suppose again 5 plus 8.9j. So you can see here the answer is 5. This 5 is untouched because it's a real part, and this imaginary parts gets added. So this is how the complex number works in Python. Now moving forward, I want to tell you that how the string indexing is done and how you can access the string from its particular position, particular index. So let's begin with that. Okay, so I have defined here, let's define a string here. Name is equal to, suppose I have written Python, and it is defined in name variable. So if I will print here name, so it will print the Python string, whole Python string. If you want to get the length of the string, what I'll write, the length function and the variable name, so it will give me the answer as 6. So as we know that the indexing starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see on the screen also I have written, and the backward indexing will start from the right to left, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and then -6. So if I want to access the position only p, so what I will write here, name, I will write here name, and then I'll write here 0 position. So you can see the answer is p, and if you write here name and then -6 position, so it will give you the answer as n. -6 will be p, so it is going to give you the answer p. So if you write here -1, then it will give you answer -1 will give you the answer n. Okay, and same way the 5 will give you the index 5 will give you the answer also n, because here indexing starts from, forward indexing starts from 0 to 5 and backward starts from -1 till the length of the, till minus length. Okay, so this is how the indexing can be done in string, and you can access the string from its particular position. This will be more valuable when we will do the programs where we have to count the strings and then we have to print it, so that will be understandable in better way. So now moving forward, let us do some practical with list and tuples. Okay, let us define a list here. So I'm taking a list here which is here in square bracket, represented in square bracket. So I have written here 12, 34, 56 and 77. Okay, so if you print here the list, it will print the whole numbers which is in the list. Now if you want to access a list from particular position, so you can write here list, and then what you will write, you will write here one position if you want to get the answer 34. Okay, so you can see here that if I have written list 1, the index 1, then it will give me the answer 34. If I want to change this 56 to 99, what I will do, I have to write here list and then second position is equal to 99. Okay, and then print the list here. So you can see that it is successfully changed here. Now if I want to check the address of the list, I will write here ID and then list. So it will give you the location of the list. And after changing, suppose again I change the value of the last value of the list. So what I will write here, as the length of the list is 4, so the index will go 3, and it is, suppose I have written here, instead of 78 I have written 79. Okay, so and I have printed here list. So you can see that 77 is changed to 79 now. And now if I check the address of the list again, okay, so you can see that the memory reference is same here. So this is how the list works. The value can be changed, they are mutable, the value can be changed from their position. However, the reference will same, it will be the same reference will be pointed to a particular list once it is created. Okay, so moving forward, let's see now the dictionary. So for defining the dictionary, I will use the variable dict. Dict is equal to, it is defined in curly braces. So I have written here curly braces, and now let me write here the key and its value. Suppose I have written here again key and its value, and again one key and its value. I have closed the curly braces. Okay, here the characters or string will be enclosed in single quote or double quote, but the integer value need not to be enclosed in the quotes. So if you want to print the dictionary, you have to write here dict. Okay, so you can see here, as dictionary are unordered collection of data items, so you can see that when it is printed, it is not in the same order in which you have defined. The A value, A key is printed first, and then C, and then B. If you want to access the dictionary by any particular key, so you have to write here dict, and then in bracket you have to define the key. So it will print the value of that key. You can see here. Okay, again you can check the reference of the dict also if you want. So you can see that reference can be checked here. Okay, so moving further, I will show you now how the immutable data type works, in which the object, all the object which has the same value points to the same cell reference. So let's begin with that. Okay, so let's see that how the immutable type works in the memory of the Python. So I am defining here the variable a, which is storing the value 5. Now I am writing here b is equal to a, and then I'll write here c is equal to 5. So first of all, we'll see that what is the reference of this number 5. So what is the address of the 5 in memory? Let us see that. You can see that the address of the 5 is 3792544. Now if I want to see the address of the a, it will give me the same cell reference, and if you will see the reference of b, it will give you the same answer, and if you will see the reference of c, again it is going to give you the same answer, because all the objects denote having the same value, storing the same value, will denote the same cell reference. The same cell reference is provided to them in immutable types. When the cell reference changes, let's see that. Now suppose here I have written here a is equal to 10. Okay, so obviously the reference of the 10 will be different. You can see the reference of the 10 is different, so the ID of the a, the reference of the a changes to 3792484, which is the reference of 10. Now suppose if I have written here b is equal to 8, and then I have written here c is equal to b. Okay, so let's see the reference of 8 first of all, because I have stored 8 in the object. So the reference is 3792508, and if you check the address of B and C, then it is also going to give you the, as B is equal to 8, the cell reference is same, but if you write here ID and then C, it is also going to give you the same cell reference. So you can see that in Python, in immutable types, what happens that the object having the same value denotes the same cell reference, and whenever the object denotes the different value or stores a different value, then only it references the different address. Okay, Python keeps a count of the number of objects denoting the same value. So here you can see on the top that all A, B, C are pointing to the same address. So there are 3 objects pointing to the same cell reference. However, here you can see that 2 objects are pointing to the same cell reference and 1 object A is pointing to the different cell reference. So this is how the immutable type works. Mutable type in list, we have already seen that how the value changes in the list and the cell reference remains the same. So now I am showing you that how the tuples can be defined in Python. So for defining the tuple, I am taking the variable here, suppose A, and I'll start here the parenthesis because tuples are denoted in parenthesis. I am writing here 12, and then let me write one string also here inside the tuple, and then I am writing suppose here a character. Okay, so if I am writing here A, so it will be printed here. So you can see that tuples can be printed, prints when you write that name of the tuple, but if you want to change the value of the tuple, it will give you the error because tuples are immutable. You cannot change the value of the tuples. Okay, so this is how the tuple list and dictionary works. Do practice at home, students. If you have any problem related to these topics, you can just text me or write in the comment section below, because these are the basics. Until then, stay safe, stay home. Thank you so much.